close today. Awesome. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, you are talking.
Yeah.
Don't I normally sit close?
Well, usually you're kind of.
Recently
Sometimes.
I've been-
Recently, you've been back.
Sorry, I'm probably making Christine seasick.
Oh yeah. Ooh. What's that? I'm not sure. It's pretty loud, but I'm just still not sure. This is like an experiment. Because according to Wesley, it'll work better if, so we've closed the back windows. Apparently it'll work better. Joni's saying yes, she knows these things too. So hopefully it won't be so muggy in the room, and it'll be cooler in the room, and maybe it'll be easier to meditate. Maybe the noise won't bother you, maybe it will. It will, well, I don't know. It will fortunately, or unfortunately, be entirely dependent on your karma. You know, you can't get away from that. You know? You can run, but you can't hide. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've had some really great meditations in very, very noisy places. You know, and I think you probably all have too, right? You can just slip into, like, the causes. If the causes are there, the causes are there. There's nothing that can stop you, right? You just slide in, and you either disappear from the noise, or the noise becomes this exquisite object of your meditation. Whatever, something happens anyway. Something changes. Yeah. When you go into deep retreat, like which you all will one day, maybe not this lifetime, maybe this lifetime. But if you're sitting here, I think the chances are very, very great that you have already in other lifetimes. When you go into deep retreat, and the longer you're in, the deeper that you go. I can see everybody now. And things begin to change. So things that appeared quote unquote normal to you, and that's relative, right? Normal. What you want is your scale. You like, I don't know, the par. You want the ground level of normal to be constantly lifting, so that normal becomes quite extraordinary. But you just, you've forgotten that it's extraordinary. Yeah, your normal is becoming extraordinary when maybe you go to work and you get home and you think to yourself, oh, I didn't see any angels today. What went wrong today? What did I do wrong today? Or something like that. I didn't see any divinity. I didn't see anything totally that blew me away today. But when you're in deep retreat, your mind settles. And I'll just, a personal example of mine is, I think it was my first 30-day retreat that I did on Gabriola Island. And it was in the middle of the summer. And your mind just changes. Your mind just changes. And things start to happen. Like, you get up in the morning and the dew, right? The dew will be on the grass, but also in the trees. And you're not quite, your mind is so far into your center that you're not sure whether they're actually diamonds or whether, it's just dew, right? Oh, it's just normal stuff. It's just dew. And you kind of your mind shifts around between you're completely sure that you're in an absolute Buddha paradise, or that's just the do. And then maybe the whole retreat, like one example is you get quieter and quieter, and then you begin to hear more and more. So then you begin to hear all the signs on the island, all the songs on the island, like that are far away. And it's like you can hear the men working on the dock, you know, and you hear all the noises. You can hear the ships coming in and like clanging up against things, right? And you can hear like the planes going across the sky, but they're very loud, and you can hear them coming from a long ways away. And at first, you notice this. At first, you notice this increased capacity of your senses. Your senses have this increased, but then you forget to think about your increased capacity of senses, and you start hearing different things, right? And then it starts to change from a whole bunch of different things going on to one thing going on, and that there's this divine orchestra happening. It was something divine at play, and there's this big orchestra, and you're right in the middle of it. And maybe you're actually pulling all the strings. Maybe you're the guy, the conductor, but you're not waving your hands around. And the construction sites and the dinging at the dock and the horns, what are they called? The fog horns and whatever. They begin to sound like some crazy Tibetan thing, and so like everything changes, and you feel like you're in the middle of a song, right? And when you hear what may or may not be an airplane go by, all you're hearing is Om. You're just hearing the sound of Om, and it's like, and you're not thinking about airplane, and that's got nothing to do with whether it's an airplane or not, or whether they're working on the docks or not. That's got everything to do with what you've just been doing real hard for like 2 weeks straight, every single day, non-stop, right? And when you have the good fortune to put yourself in a position like that, and then you don't have emails to check, you don't have crosswalks to wait for, right? You don't have a job to get to. You don't have anyone to see. Nothing is pressing. So your mind is free to go into a deeper place, because it's not being pulled away, right? Because it's not being pulled away from your center, because you're learning to pull everything into the center. And the whole idea is not that the idea is you go into retreat to ignite that. You ignite that possibility inside your mind stream, inside your central channel, inside your inner subtle body. You wake up the possibility so that you don't need to be on retreat for that very same thing to happen. You see, retreat's just a thing. It's like learning to tie your shoes. Retreat's just like anything else. Retreat's just you go there to figure some shit out. Excuse my language. You go there to figure some stuff out, and then you come out and you apply it to the world. And that's what meditation is. It's just a mini version of that. You're sitting down to figure some stuff out so that the day comes when you don't have to meditate anymore. It can't be that we're all sitting here trying to learn to meditate so that we can then while away and beetle away for the rest of our lives on a meditation cushion. Because that's not, it's just a tool. It's just something that, are you cold?
No, but I...
Oh, okay. Polite. That's nice. I just thought, well, maybe it's working. I thought, somebody's bundling up. Oh. Yeah. So, as you develop your meditative skill, and if you put into practice the things that we've talked about in this class, if you do the book, right? If you do that rejoicing at the end of the night, if you watch for the 8 worldly thoughts during your day, what happens? This is the task you must take on, right? You must take on this job of finding what's in your way. Because if you feel like your life is pretty far removed from what I just described, the plane is home, right? If you feel like that's like a distant, like maybe weird thing that may never happen to you, then you need to change that. Because what's the other possibility? The other possibility is that you're going to spend the rest of your life from one conspiracy to the next conspiracy to try and make something work out, right? To try, you'll be spend the rest of your days trying to position yourself into a certain position at work so that you feel okay for one day. So then you become like this really excited hunter. And what you're hunting for is like your own mental afflictions. You're hunting for your jealousy. You're hunting for your greed. You're hunting for your selfishness. And when they come up, you got to pin them down. You should hold them there. And hold them there and look at them. Because as soon as you see those things, they run away. As soon as you notice, like, oh, because it's one thing to like be lost in the throes of jealousy. It's one thing to be lost in the throes of that and not even think about it. You're just there. You're just in that place. It's another thing altogether to actually recognize it. Oh wow, I'm inflamed with jealousy. Whoa. I've got a problem. There's something wrong in my system. I've got some problems. I've got some pipes that need to be realigned because I have fallen down and I'm being beaten up by my own jealousy. And then what happens then is you instantly take the onus away from the situation and put it onto yourself. And then you can work on it. Then you can decide, why am I jealous? And you can go through all the things. And if you're fortunate, you have a teacher or somebody, or you have some understanding of causes and effect, or karma and emptiness. You have some kind of understanding of that this jealousy that I'm experiencing, or this negative emotion, whatever it may be that I'm experiencing, cannot be caused by the thing I'm seeing. And then you're starting to gain some freedom. Then it's starting to happen. It's starting to happen there. You're starting to break loose the chains. You're starting to break the chains. And I'm sorry to say, that is the way. That is what must happen. You must see all these things and break yourself free of them. And in the process, it's going to get ugly for a second. And you'll feel elation, and then you'll feel like, man, I fell. I'm worse off than when I started. I'm no practitioner. Who do I think I am? I've lost all this ground, and it's not true. It's not true. You've just gained ground by seeing something, confronting it within yourself, doing your best to try and check it all out, And in soul, healing something within yourself. Yeah, so we just don't know, right? We just don't know what the road is. You know, it's like so that's why we need our teachers to show us that this struggle is the road. This trying is the road. There is no road other than that. There is no other road than just daily sitting down, doing your asana, doing your meditations. There is no other road than that. You know? And so the meditation that we're doing tonight, which is a repeat from last week, because you can't really get much deeper than that. If you go past that meditation, well, then you're basically in the clear light, or you're like witness to the emptiness of your own mind. These types of meditations, combined with your awareness of what's happening at any given moment during the day, they're a great combination because you're gaining some stability to actually witness what's arising in your mind, so that then you can feel like you can do something about it. So let's meditate. What do you think? Do we turn this off for the meditation and see what happens, or do we leave it on? Opinions, anybody? Off? We'll try off, because when we turn it back on, it's going to cool right down again, right? Okay.
What about that one?
That one's,
Quieter, isn't it?
it's pretty mild right on sound. Sure, let's try.
Actually, the fact that we've been running it before meditation, we stop in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
It's not like the air will just run and then we start out.
true. Maybe. Hopefully.
My karma's good.
Watch, it just closes on its own.
Oh.
It's like R2D2 goes away. So don't be alarmed if you hear some little pitter-pattering footsteps, because Yulia may arrive right in the middle of her meditation. But she has keys. Yeah. That's okay. She's expecting the door to be locked. So taking the time now to set yourself up for the meditation. Relaxing the base. Feeling relaxed and spacious from the waist up, especially in the heart. So let's do our nice in-breath, drawing the inhale in. wants to get a scratch. So, yeah, using your inhale, drawing the crown towards the sky, expanding, and then keeping that nice, relaxed lift as you exhale. Shoulders relax. It's very important as how you go into meditation. You want to set the stage. Just like anything in life, you always perform better when you're relaxed. So you go into that state beyond hope and fear. You're not expecting anything to happen, and you're not expecting anything not to happen. So you're meditating for the sake of meditating, and that this will lead you to this place in your life where you do things for the sake of doing them. For the joy of doing them. Begin to enjoy the sensation of the belly as it is filled with breath. Just feel the physical sensation there. You're already starting your process of pulling away from being the controller and cultivating that watcher state. So using the breath. Trying to simply feel and not label. Pulling the mind into the present moment, the continual present moment. And then drawing the focus up to a more subtle object, shifting from that body awareness, physical awareness, to start watching the inhale and the exhale as it passes through the points of the nostrils. You're making a slow and steady and relaxed transition into a deeper state of meditation. You can take the moment, this time now, to gauge whether you need to count or not. Maybe it's easy for you to simply watch the breath. If the mind is jumpy, then you can use that tool of counting the breath. If you notice yourself trying to control the breath, just notice it. Be mystified by it. Let it go. So let's make a little bit of a different transition into the deeper state of the watcher. So let's shift now from watching the breath to becoming the watcher of your thoughts. But let's use sound as a transitional phase. So as you hear the sounds in the room, or as you hear the sounds that you may perceive as being outside of the room, just watch the mind as it tries to label them, tries to put some meaning or put a mental picture onto what the sound is. And notice that process. So you begin to get the sense of how something arises in your mind along with the sound that plants a picture onto it. And you begin to notice that it is not necessarily so. You have no idea what's making those sounds. Really, you can't really say if you're not looking at it. And yet, there's a mental picture. So just watch that process. And don't engage. Just notice the image and let it go. Notice the image and let it go. If you begin to stay hooked onto one image and it just relax and return to listening to all the sounds. And now let's make another transition. We'll pull away from sound and begin to go right into our thoughts. Falling back into a deeper state of concentration. You can use this time now to fall back into the area behind your heart. And then you start to see any image that comes up as nothing but an object of thought. The background images of you, what you think that you are, what you think your body looks like, your place in the room. Every single image arising and falling, just an object of thought. And you are staying in this realm of mind, watching it all. As you rest in this place, in this realm, turn your focus to what it is, this vast state of awareness, this place of awareness, this infinite potential. Try to focus on the awareness itself. Can there even be a moment of awareness without an object that it's aware of? You start to get this feeling, this sense that these moments of awareness are also simply rising and falling moments of projections in your mind. The moments of awareness are mental images. They're just ripples. It's not awareness, it's awareing. There's no such thing as awareness, because that would be a thing. So the awareing, the moments of awareness, are ripples themselves. What's behind that? What's underneath those ripples of mind? That's the true nature of your own mind. The Buddha, the Dharmakaya, your own mind is the Dharma body, and its ripples are your emanations. Your own mind is the Dharma body, and its ripples are your emanations. Now go back to watching your thoughts. The emanations of your enlightened self. Watch how the ripples of your enlightened, holy mind create the world. Now, slowly bringing yourself back. Always remembering to come back gently. You're staying very relaxed, and you simply open your eyes a little bit and keep your eyes cast down, taking in the area right in front of you. Staying centered as much as you can as you then open your eyes and take in your surroundings, and maybe you can get the feeling that you're not so much peeking out from your eyeballs anymore, but you're actually perceiving from some place in your center, like you're radiating out from your center, and that is your perception. I'm turning on the machine. Yeah, feel free to stretch your legs out now. Anything you need to do. Maybe we should all stand up. Let's all stand up. Shake it off. Shake off that enlightenment. It's just too much enlightenment. Get back to normal. The reverse of the campfire. Got it all on film? You know, it's good. It's good to move your body. Like it's good to think like it's good to think like you've got this tube of light, right, that goes through the center of your body, right? This tube of light that starts here and curls around and goes down your inside and then kind of turns up at the bottom, and everything is coming out like from this place, right? So your arms are coming out from this place, your legs are coming out from this place, and then from this place you've got like countless channels of light that just make you up, and that's where it starts from. It starts from there. So you know, if you have like a knot in your back, it's not like it happened from the outside in. It happened in the light body of yourself first and manifested. So it's good if you think like that and move your body around, because then you can and feel like you're actually moving that line around. And try, and then because you can think of chakras, you can think of what you want, and this is what meditation can do for you, and also other kinds of prana or wind practice, like dancing or yoga or walking or bowling or what have you. I'd say bowling if you enjoy bowling. Not if you really want to win. Then maybe it's not so good. But like bowling, I enjoy the gutter balls. They were fun. But so you think that what you want is your prana or your energy to be running full bore through the center, full bore, And this is the place. This is the place where you can love from. If you see the world from this place running full bore, you see a magical world. And if our thoughts of what about me? It's all about me. I want. That's like then the light channels begin to creep like blackberries around the center. Me. I can't give you that. Right? And that's what happens. And then the center line is like choked. Right? But if you have thoughts of like, oh, wow, you're so beautiful. Wow, it's so wonderful to see you. God, you know. You want some help? You need $5? Here's 10. Oh, you know, I love you. Oh, you know, I love you. Here, what can I do for you today that I won't get anything for, you know? And then that just releases this thing, and then these knots unravel from around the center. So if you get up and move around, you can think that if you got any knots, you just move them, and you can feel the energy go, and it can work. And so, you know, if you're dancing to music, you know, it's like you ruin the whole thing if you start doing like steps that you think someone else is going to approve of. You know, sure, do dance steps if you're trying to figure something out and you want to get some groove happening that's for your own joy. But if you're like, right, and you want to look a certain way, then it's like and you know, right, you feel. But when you dance like no one's looking, then you get this thing. And everyone wants you to do that anyway. I mean, everyone wants you to dance like an idiot so that they can dance like an idiot, right? So, you know, be courageous and dance like an idiot so that everyone else can like feel free to be an idiot too. Because we need to be fools. You know, we've just been too smart way too long. You know? So I just want to talk a little bit about these. So what we're trying to get to is this place where everything's okay. You know, like no matter what is happening. So that if you're doing something in the world, you don't, it's not for anything. It's not for anything but the expression of yourself in that moment. And that's all. You know, one of the expressions that I have heard years ago and I love to this day is like, it's like riding on water. Right? Live your life like you're riding on water. Yeah. But then it's gone, right? It's gone. Who cares about what you just did? If you're fortunate, I guess, maybe you'll do some beautiful things in the world and you'll leave a beautiful footprint. And maybe you'll spread some beauty. But, you know, it's like the most beautiful, memorable things that you've done in your life or that anyone ever does is with that heart, right? Is with that joyful, giving heart. And all the rest, you know, it's like, I've always thought about this with musicians too, right? For some reason, you can see the people that are playing music, and they're like bent out of shape about wanting to be good or wanting you to like them, and maybe they're really good. Maybe you can see that they're slick, and they've practiced a lot, and they're really good, you know. But there's some part of your heart, for most people, that is a little bit resistant because you can see this egotistical play, right? As opposed to someone who walks up there and begins to play, and maybe they can't play very well. but they don't care. And they're just up there, and they're just like, just giving it all. And for the most part, unless you've got, I think, a really critical mindset, then you rejoice. It's like you enjoy that. You enjoy that presentation of a person's soul versus any sort of melodic genius, And I got to say this because I'll never forget it. But I went to I went to an elementary school. What do they call them when the kids all perform something? A talent show. A talent show. And it was like from, I don't know, probably grade 1 to grade 8. Something, or grade 7, that type of school. And so you had all levels of kids coming out. You had the grade 7ers that were really cool. Like they had a band. And they're like serious. And these kids come out, and this grade 7 kid's like a drummer. But he's a real drummer, and this kid's playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan. He's like grade 7, and it's really impressive and amazing, and they get lots of applause. Then you got the kids that come up there, mostly Asian. I don't know why, but they play perfect like Mozart, and they're like grade 5 or something. Then you got the kids that come up there and they're like playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on just one thing. The whole range, right? But this one girl came out. And it still, to this day, floors me. I don't know how old she was. She's probably like grade 3. She's about this high off the ground. And she had a nice dress on. And I'll just remember, she walked out. She walked out, and she just stood there. And just started smiling. And she just like, people started to giggle, right? And then she just looked and she smiled, and then the music started to play. And this is what she did. This is her whole routine. She went like this. She went. But while she was doing it, she was like the happiest person I've ever seen in my life. And she's like looking at everybody. And then pretty soon the whole place is like, they're all in hysterics, right? And then she was done, and she like disappeared off to the back. And she got a huge round of applause. A huge round of applause. I don't know if she rehearsed that. I have no idea what she decided she was going to do that day. But let me tell you, that was profound. Like, I will never, ever forget that. And so why not give the world that? Like anything, we can. We can give the world that. Yeah. Because, what is not perfect other than what we decide is not perfect? Can you think of anything? Right? What is not perfect? When you're little.
Well, it's like when you become adults and you get all parents learn all these things. And I don't know, I just love kids because they're so free. They're mad, and they're super happy.
Yeah.
They just, it's like they always dance like no one's looking. No matter whatever it is they do. I want what they're having.
Right. Yeah, and then we have this thing that happens where suddenly we have to take care of ourselves, right? Suddenly we got to figure out some way to like put food in our belly, and maybe in the bellies of others. And somewhere from that point of like maybe this freedom that you're talking about to like being responsible for yourself and others, a thought process somehow enters in that becomes a very competitive mind state, where we become competitive, and there doesn't need to be anybody else around. We simply become competitive against our own ideas about what should be. Right? What should be. That is a killer. You know, this shouldn't be like this, but it is, right? This shouldn't be like this. You know, if this, I am a victim. I am a victim. This is wrong. But there it is. It's right there. If it's not perfect, right? It's only because you have decided it's not perfect. Like, what is possible for us? Like we've been talking a lot about enlightenment, and we've been talking a lot about getting rid of the things that aren't enlightenment so that we can see ourselves as perfect and holy, right? And have that holy experience. Right? But is it possible? Do you think it's possible? Some people are nodding. Right? Yeah, of course it is. Why not? I mean, you're here, aren't you? You have a consciousness. You have this freaking amazing thing. I don't even know how I just did that. Like, you know, I mean, if this is possible, right, then anything is possible. And we don't even know what the heck we're even doing here. It's beautiful. I mean, it's so, if you can just buy the idea that how you engage with your current reality has a very direct effect on how you see yourself in the future reality, then anything is possible. Because, you know, we don't have any control in the moment. Because there will come a day, because I have physical parts, there will come a day where I can't do that. I won't be able to. I'll have the thought to, and gravity will win. It's just not going to happen. There will be a day. There will come a day. You know, if I die, like, I don't know, peacefully, when I decide, you know, God, it'd be great to get out of bed today, and I won't be able to. Because I have one of these things. But you can disassociate yourself with identifying. You can stop identifying yourself with this thing and begin to identify yourself with what's making that thing run. Because without the thing that makes it run, this thing just flops onto the ground and is useless. There's something else in there. That thing is the thing that carries on from life to life, right? So we need to access that. And you can't access that by trying to make the outer world work. It's too far away from your center. So you need to turn in and access that place, light it up, and see it. Because we talked about being a certain way in the world, right? We talked about our 6 times book, watching our morality, not harming others, protecting life, taking care of others, right? Here's something you can do. I don't know if I said this before, but you can These little tricks that you can come up with. Let's say you live in an apartment. Well, you go in the elevator, and as your elevator is going up, press the M button so that it always goes down to the bottom. And so, because probably, on average, people, are coming in and want to go up more than they want to come down. So a lot of people walk down. So it's like his anonymous little kindness in your mind to always send the elevator to the bottom so that it's ready, it's available. So you're creating availability for other people. Just little things like that throughout your day, with the understanding that you're doing something beautiful in the world. That simple pressing of the M creates your Rupakaya. So we haven't even said Rupakaya yet. So there are two parts, you could say, to an enlightened being. And I'm going to talk right now from point of view of Tibetan Buddhism, okay? Because I'm very well schooled in Tibetan Buddhism. I've had it rammed down my throat for years now. I've had many teachers pour many things into this little head, okay? It has to come out. So, there are two parts to yourself as an enlightened being. One part is your mind, the other part is your body. And when you achieve total and complete enlightenment, those two parts come together. So you achieve an enlightened body and you achieve an enlightened mind. They say you achieve an enlightened mind like microseconds before you actually achieve the enlightened body. The mind comes first, which makes sense, because it's always the mind first, right? So, like we said before, all the things that we've done in the world, like harming others, stealing, right, harsh words, all those kinds of things, have put the causes into place for us to experience a hard world, a suffering world, a certain kind of a body that has the capacity for sickness, right, has the potential to make you suffer hard. There are people with bodies that are making them endure some really intense suffering every single day of their lives, and they can't go anywhere. They don't have a choice. They're trapped in that thing. And there are other people, their body gives them great pleasure. Their body is a way for bliss, right? It's the same body, same type of body. So there's something going on there. So the ultimate evolution of your physical body would be this, would be made of a light-like substance that is not, you can't call it light, but it's light-like substance. Can you turn this thing into light? No, you cannot. You can't get an apple tree from a lemon seed. You can't take something physical and turn it into something non-physical. But you can change your projection. You can do things in your life to begin to disassociate your identity with this thing and begin to cultivate this mind that experiences the light body to the degree where you actually begin to feel like you have two bodies. One is physical, it's still around, and it will run its course. In the meantime, you're constantly breathing life and creating the causes to experience this light body that you actually associate with as yourself, so that when indeed you do die, you don't experience a normal kind of a death, you experience this light body moving on. So that's like getting close to your Rupakaya, or the physical parts to your enlightenment. And that is all caused by physical acts, being in the world, pressing M on the elevator, giving someone a glass of water. All the mental stuff that you do, all your meditating that you do on the nature of reality, every time that you think that I'm enjoying this, like, I don't know if you've ever had this, but this is the nectar of the gods as far as I'm concerned. So every time you have a sip of this, and if you think it's the chocolate milk that's good, that's giving you that is the cause for then line up 10 of them and see how much bliss you can have. There's something else going on, right? So every time you think, well, it's beautiful, it tastes good to me because I took care of others, that's creating the mental continuum of an enlightened being who understands reality. So you do this enough and you put the causes into place. Well, what is possible? Anything is possible. Total enlightenment is possible. You just have to know how to play the game and put the causes into place. It's just like anything else. It's very, very tricky because, you know, if you sit in a class like this or anywhere and think to yourself like, well, this is it, you know, this is the end, this is as far as I can go, this is as good as it gets, you know, I can't achieve more than this, that's a projection. That's a totally believable state of mind that you have produced by, like, you know, someone comes to you and they want some help or they want some encouragement. Someone comes to you and they have a project and they're thinking, what do you think? And you're like, waste of time. Don't waste your time. Don't quit your day job. Right? You don't encourage anybody. If you continue to, like, not encourage people or not cheer people on as they try to do the hard things in life, then what do you expect? What do you expect? Do you expect then to, like, be able to have any kind of lofty vision for yourself and actually feel like it's possible? No, because you're creating that kind of a mind. But if you cheer people on no matter what they're doing, rejoice in what they're doing. Wow, it's amazing what you're doing. You know? No matter what it is, then you're killing that cloud. Every time you do that, you're wiping out that thing in your mind that's saying no, that's saying it's impossible, I can't. It's just an idea. It's just an idea. That's all it is. Very believable. But it's just an idea. And you know, you all know that because you've all gone through changes. And, you know, everyone's experienced, like, the fog lift once in a while. Wow. And then, like, 3 days later, you're back to thinking, well, damn. So this becomes your job, right? Looking for ways that you can identify your thought processes that are in your way. Like, look for the beauty in people. Look for the amazing things in people. Everyone, you know, just give it a bit of time. Everybody that you meet, no matter who they are, if you give it a little bit of time, you will be able to find something amazing in that person. If you do that enough, then it will become a habit, and you won't fall for the little conversations that happen, you know, like the little mini conspiracies that we can get into with each other, and usually the dynamic is there's a mini conspiracy, there's two people talking, and there's one person over here who doesn't know they're being talked about. And these two people are, like, trying to buffer up their belief about, you know, what's wrong with this situation and why this person is making it all happen, you know. if you go against that enough with your mind, you can win that battle against those things in your mind. But wait a minute. Did I just say that anything was... Did I just talk about the Dharmakaya and the Rupakaya? Did I really just say that? Are we actually sitting in this room, hanging out with each other and talking about complete and total enlightenment is actually possible? Did that just happen? What else is there? What other success story could there be? What job could you be the best at that could even come close to that? You know? If you were that type of being, would it matter what you were doing? Would it matter whether you were a great guitar player? Would it matter, you know, if you were a great poet? Would it matter if you were like the guy at work who nobody likes? Would it matter? Because if you reach that kind of a place, you have the ability to be what everyone needs. And maybe you need to be the person that no one else likes. Maybe you need to be the person that's getting blamed for something. So it's fireworks tonight. And I live in the West End. So let's wrap this thing up with a little meditation, okay? We'll do a little meditation and then we'll quickly wrap up. And I don't know, does anyone else have to go downtown tonight? Okay. It's loud. But it's nice. So let everything settle. As we sit, I'll read a little bit from Scripture, the writings of Lobsang Chukyi Gelsen. And maybe it will trigger something in your mind. And these will all speak of leaving the mind alone so that you can get to the crystalline ultimate nature of your enlightened mind. Don't see the thoughts in your mind as a problem. Don't try to reach a non-conceptual state. Leave the mind alone in its natural condition. Then set yourself off at a distance to watch. It's sure to fall back into meditative stillness. It is similar to an example of a bird held captive for a long time inside a boat that's sailing across the great ocean. Once you release the bird from the boat, he will circle around in every direction and finally have to come back and land again. Leave your mind like the sun, free of clouds. The clear light nature of our mind is like the sun, always brilliantly shining and clear. And we must keep those clouds, those mistaken thoughts that we grasp onto as signs and states of mind, like dullness or agitation. We must keep those clouds from obscuring the sun. Or leave your mind like a Garuda flying in the sky, like a sky glider. When the great bird Garuda sails across the sky, the gliding movement comes naturally to them without much need to strain and beat their wings or the like. In the same way, our mind should be suspended in an intense state of clarity where our focus is tightly held, but without being too tight or too loose. We need to relax and glide within the moment, but without losing the lasso of our watchfulness or awareness. Or you can leave your mind like an infant gazing at a temple. A child will stare fixedly at a large, shiny object without noticing or examining the subtle details of its design. Our mind also should do the same when it is focusing on an object. Although attractive or unattractive objects may appear to our 5 doors of sense, we remain single-pointedly focused on our object, without noticing or examining them, and without any desire or dislike. Or you can leave your mind like the tracks of a bird across the sky. Leave it like the tracks of a bird across the sky. And you may ask this question: if we continue to practice in this way, exactly what kind of impression is made in the mind? You'll see the face of meditation crystalline and bright, unobscured by anything at all. And since it has no solid form, is like the sky. Inherently empty. And anything that crosses it is likewise crystal clear. And from this clear space, this simple being, this awareing, when all appearances rise and fall from this vast, colorless, clear potentiality, from this place, from deep within your heart of hearts, see a golden bubble begin to emerge. And this golden droplet, this golden honey-like droplet, is pure thought. Begins to rise up through your center. And this pure thought is made up of your intense and loving wish for everybody to be happy, it's your purest thought. It's the pure, selfless thought. And you think to yourself, may anything that I have done here be for the good of everybody else. May all these classes that I've come to, may all the heat that I endured, May everything that I've done to try and understand, any efforts that I have made to begin a meditation practice, anything at all, may this bring happiness to everyone. And this golden nectar, this honey-like jewel of a thought, is just growing and growing. And let it fill you completely until you experience yourself as golden light filled with that one thought and that one thought alone. And then this thought bursts out of whatever you may think of yourself, whatever you may think of as your edges or your border, and bursts out and floods the entire universe and gives everything away to everybody else. May they all achieve all their dreams. Please make it so. It's all I want. And then have a rejoicing in your heart for everyone else's well-being. And thank you for coming again and again. Thank you. Thank you.